Peace and blessings to the chosen. Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone. Salutations to the Akim pushing his truth with sincerity and charity indeed. I'm the brother Elad, and I'm just responding to this video as basically about a guy who was an inmate, and when he got released, his wife or his woman was pregnant, and the results showed that he wasn't the father, and he cared for the child for quite some time, maybe 2 years, and he eventually got the DNA test, and I make this video not to be a video about women, but I make this video to get you more so to focus on the Lord and understand that women are a part of the cares of this life. Wanting something that may not necessarily be for you is a part of the cares of this life. So Ecclesiastes 7:26, it says, I found more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands is bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken. So what happens is some people, instead of, hey, what that one guy say in that video, he said, oh, I should just stop serving God and serve my wife. And then the guy walked past, he said, you wouldn't have made it in the Old Testament. But, even though that was a skit, there's men walking around that would abandon the Lord for a woman. And this is what I mean by the cares of this life, man. This is why we ought to be content with this is a humbling scripture, 1 Timothy 6. For we brought nothing into this world, it is certain we can carry nothing out. Right, what they say, a U-Haul don't follow a hearse. Says, and having food and raiment, let us be content therewith. So, if the Lord bless us with just our bare necessities and then some, we ought to be beyond grateful, irregardless, man, because it's, we do get tied up in this world, and I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes we want more and more, and there's nothing wrong to want more. There's nothing wrong with one something that may be beneficial to you. Some of these wants and covets are righteous, But you also have to realize that we at war. Sometimes we can't get that thing that we want. Sometimes we have to fast, and that's a part of fasting itself. Refraining, to abstain from something. Second Timothy 2:3, therefore thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier, Yahweh Shah Hamashiach. Verse 4, no man that warred entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who had chosen him to be a soldier. So yeah, what did it say that the man that pleases God, it said, whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her? Come on now. But the sinner will be trapped. Why? 1 Esdras 4:26. Yeah, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished and erred and sinned for women. So, I say all of that to say that it would be better to just not be with a woman. It would be better for your mental sake, for your mind, for your health sake. Imagine the trouble this man had went through, the mental anguish, the emotional despair and sorrow, the spiritual and hurt that this man is, the social anxiety and the pressure and the physical nights he lost sleep, stressing over if this child was his or not, and then to go through the finding out that it wasn't his, and it would just be better. Now, granted, not all things are for all men. Apostle Paul made it clear. He said in 1 Corinthians 7, now concerning the things whereof he wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. right? Skipping down, he says in verse 6, but I speak this by permission and not a commandment. I would that all men were even as myself. But every man have his proper gift in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, one after this matter and another after that. Therefore I say to the unmarried as in widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. And Apostle Paul, he was abstinent. You could even say celibate. Or he was either abstinent or celibate. He didn't deal with women. He just didn't. But he's telling you that it would save you a lot of mental anguish. Because the verses down, he says that, hey, you deal, that's fine. It's lawful. If you don't deal, that's lawful too. But if you do deal, hey, you're going to have trouble in the flesh, right? And that's just going to be natural. That's just going to happen. If you get that. But the scripture also tell us to be what? Those that have wives be as though they have none. So, nevertheless, this wasn't to go about and say that, oh, women are wicked, and we know women are wicked. We know this. This is something we know. This is not the video to talk about that. This is a video to tell you that there are just, hey, some things you can avoid that will save you so much trouble, save you so much money. What is it? Money is a defense. Ecclesiastes 7:12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Right. So, yeah, that's a defense, man. Having wisdom, having some money, some coin in your pocket, that's a defense. You know, these women ain't really dealing with wisdom, bro. Let's just be for real. They're not, bro. They are dealing with emotions and not logic. They want what they think and feel and what they feel and their emotion. You know. But nevertheless, that's a horrible situation to be in. Poor guy, man. Real talk. Nevertheless, the whole point was just, hey, you'd avoid a lot of trouble just by just being to yourself. I tell you, Hopefully this was edifying. Shalom.